So it's been a while since we've done one of these rules rankings, and I kind of wanted to get back into it. I haven't done one for a bit. Today, I wanted to cover The Fall Guy. This is a movie that came out about 2 weeks ago or so. It says right here the release date is May 3rd of 2024. I recently saw this movie with my mom, and it wasn't too bad, actually. I do really like Ryan Gosling as an actor, so I thought the premise of this movie was very interesting. So if you don't know, the premise is basically about this stunt actor, and it's basically a love letter, as they call it. It pays homage to all of the guys in the stunt community who basically bust their ass every day and get fucking pulverized for your enjoyment of movies on the big screen. They do the shit whether the movie is good or bad, which is very heroic, I would say. You know, many stunt people don't get many props throughout their careers. Now, back to the movie, it is about this stuntman named Colt Seavers, and he is basically, at the beginning of the movie, kind of the stunt guy. He's the #1 big-time stunt guy. He's at the top of his game. He's at the cream of his crop. And he is the stuntman for one of the biggest actors in the world, Tom Ryder, I think is his name. Basically, at the beginning of the movie, Colt Seavers ends up suffering a very nasty injury in the form of breaking his entire spine. Most people, I don't think, could recover from that, but he ends up mostly making a full recovery, which is pretty miraculous. That part of the movie is very fabled. I don't think many people would break their entire spine, and the scene is crazy. He basically is hooked up to this rigging mechanism on him, and he's like falling down an entire building, like a 20-story building. He's falling all the way down back first, and the rigging messes up and he ends up breaking his back. And so he obviously can't do stunting for a while, because you just can't do that with a broken back. You fucking crazy. He takes a year off, and in the process, he quits stunting and movies altogether and pushes everyone to the wayside, doesn't let anyone in to help him. Especially there was this girl who is the other main character of this story. I'm blanking on her name. What is her name? Hold on. Okay, his girlfriend or whatever, her name is Jody. Before he had his accident, him and Jody were like this. They were tight as fuck. After he suffered this really bad injury, they kind of move apart and kind of break up. A year goes by, and one of the directors comes and contacts him about doing another stunt job, and his ex-girlfriend Jody has her first directing job on this movie set. They're making this like weird ass sci-fi cowboy western movie called Metal Storm. For some reason, they need him to do the stunts for it, because some other stunt guy like either wasn't good enough, or, you know, he suffered the same unfortunate fate that he did, like got hurt or something, and they basically had no one, which is a little hard to believe, but as the story progresses, you understand why he was chosen. But basically, she brings him in, and he comes onto the set, and his ex-girlfriend's there. He is like, hey, what's up? And she's like, well, I didn't ask for you, meaning the other director who's overseeing her didn't ask her about it. So she's kind of pissed at him for leaving her on the dusty road and driving away, metaphorically. They're doing this movie. He's doing the stunt work. He's doing fine now. He's fully recovered miraculously. And then the lead actor, Tom Riker, just disappears. He just ups and leaves, and no one knows where the hell he went. He's just a fart in the fucking wind. He's gone. No one knows where he went. They basically tell Colt that he has to go find him because, you know, they have no one else to go do this shit. This sparks this entire journey of going and trying to find him. And, you know, a lot of stuff goes down, a lot of scandalous and devious things go down. There's like a darker plot to the whole thing, but I don't want to spoil the entire movie for you guys, but I just wanted to talk about like the good and the bad of it. Overall, as a movie, it's not too bad. I was entertained. I wasn't checking my watch, wondering how long I have left, which I do in most movies most of the time. This movie was actually pretty good. The story, at least, was mostly engaging. It made sense, other than like him making a full recovery from breaking his entire back at the beginning. Everything else kind of falls into place nicely. It's like a nice wrapped gift, you know. Everything's nice and tidy. There was one scene in particular, I don't know if I can find it or show it. It's basically this scene where Colt is talking to the bigger director lady who told him to come on set. They're shooting the shit and everything, and the girl is sitting down and Ryan Gosling's character is standing up, and he's like walking around like this, you know, doing whatever. And then it cuts back to her. She says her lines, and then it cuts back to him, and he's immediately like sitting on the couch in a completely different area of the room. Like he's sitting across from her, like this way instead of this way. I don't know, that's kind of hard to explain, but he was in a completely different area of the trailer, and it was really jarring. I don't know if that's just because I've studied cinematography and do my own editing and everything like that, so I know how all that stuff works, but it was very weird. The transition was very off-putting for a moment, and so that, other than that, everything else seemed to be fine. I didn't catch any other like cinema errors, and I mean, most people probably wouldn't notice that, but it was very jarring to me. The script was decent. They even threw in a bunch of quotes from other movies. It was kind of nice to see, because they kind of played off of other movies, because it's a movie about other movies and like stunt people in other movies. So like at one point, yeah, here they quote Rocky. They also had like this boat scene towards the end. He's driving a boat, doing this cool action movie scene. Really cool. And they had the Miami Vice theme song playing as they did it. I guess there was also, let me see if I can find this, they basically referenced the Fall Guy show, which I didn't even know was a thing. There was a show, which I didn't even know about this until seeing the movie with my mom. She was telling me that there was a show from the 80s that starred Lee Majors as a role of stuntman Colt Seavers, who is played by Ryan Gosling in the film. So there was an entire TV series called Fall Guy. In the show, actually, Colt Seavers did bounty hunting as a side gig. Like he's Jason Bourne or Agent 47 or some shit. Movies during the week, and, you know, beating the shit out of criminals during the weekend. And then it looks like in the film, Gosling's character drives a GMC Sierra, which is taken directly from the show, in which Major's character drives the same vehicle. And then it looks like some of the stunts done in the movie were actually stunts done in the 80s show as well. And then there was also, it looks like Majors and Thomas both appear in a mid-credit scene, obviously at the end of the movie. So I thought that was kind of cool. They're paying homage to all those other movies, which is pretty sick. So after all that, I am giving this movie probably an 85. It's not anything that kind of blew me away, but it was also very entertaining. It wasn't like Avengers Endgame where I was sitting literally on the edge of my seat waiting for what that purple dude is gonna do next. But it was pretty entertaining. There was some funny haha moments in there. Not a lot of errors that I saw, other than the one error that I saw in the trailer. Other than that, it was pretty good. I liked how they pulled different quotes and theme songs and stunts from other movies. It did feel like a very cool movie, love letter to the stunt community. So I'm hitting it with the big 85 in the end, and it looks like IMDb gave it a 7.3 out of 10 and Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 82%. Metacritic gave it a 73%, so about in that 7 to 8 range, or 70 to 80%. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this movie if you've seen it already. If not, I would recommend going and seeing it. It's not a bad movie by any means. Go ahead and check out the Twin Soul shop in the description. Check out Patreon for some more bonus content, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.